privilege it is to be here speaking today. I say to everybody that we are what we eat. A lot of us on this call or on this webinar today are privileged to be eating 3 times a day without really thinking about it. So how do we make sure that this becomes the reality for everybody here in our country today? So I'd like to make about 3 points regarding action track 1, which the focus is really ensuring nutrition security for all. My first point is, it is not about tomorrow. We're not talking about 2030 and we're not talking about 2050. We need to be talking about today. And the reason is there are about 211 million people in Nigeria today. 160 million of those are under 35. So youth represents the biggest proportion of the population in Nigeria today, not tomorrow, not in the next decade, not in the future decade, but today. Now, when we look at this population and how it's doing, we also know that 1 out of 3 children under 5 are stunted, which means they're not growing well in terms of their height for their age. Additionally, we have another 2 to 3 million who are wasted. This puts Nigeria, we have about 17 million children under 5 who are malnourished and not growing well. And I would actually, say about 20 million children. These children, if they're not growing well, we're not going to do well as a nation. So my challenge to the youth today and to transforming food systems as young people in this country today is, what can we do to change this paradigm and ensure that we have nutrition security for all and that no child in Nigeria is malnourished. Nigeria, because of the 20 million children, has unfortunately the reputation of being the second country in the world with the largest number of malnourished children and the country with the highest number of malnourished children on the continent of Africa. So this is a challenge that we must change. The second thing I'd like to say is, when we look at the last 20 years, we have only seen a 5 percentage point decline in the rate of stunting in children under 5. This is unlike any other country. Even if you do nothing, you should see a much faster rate of decline, at least 1% or 0.5% in a year. But a 5 percentage point decline in 20 years, in my mind, is quite unacceptable. So again, what can we do? What can this young population, this young, energetic, full of hope population do to change that paradigm and make this huge paradigm shift in the next 3 to 4 years to put us on track to achieve the World Health Assembly and the Sustainable Development Goals in the next few years? So really, let's think about securing nutrition for everybody, and especially for young people. The third thing I'd like to say is that we must, in talking about youth and change and the potential of youth, we can't leave the conversation of gender out of it. And how can we assure that we are conscious about ensuring gender equality in terms of who makes the decision to procure food in a household, who consumes it, how well are we eating? We know that in children under 5, again, 70% of our children under 5 are anemic. And if we look at the age group of 15 to 49 years, about 60% of our population here in Nigeria is anemic. These are huge numbers, and these are not big issues that we shouldn't be able to change. So I know that there's limited time. I could go on and on because I'm passionate about nutrition, but really action track 1 in the Food Systems Summit is about how can we change the paradigm in the next 2 to 3 years? What can we commit to ensure that we have not food security? It's not just about food security, it is about nutrition security. How do we make sure that this young population, 110, 120 million people under the age of 35, get the nutrition that they need to lead healthy, productive lives? So over to you, Aziz.